This underwear has turned Jockey into a 50,000 crore brand in India because its annual revenue of over 4,800 crores is 1.75 times of the next three competitors combined. This is the story of how a foreign brand won Desi hearts, taking its share price from 270 rupees to over 53,000 rupees in just 15 years. And today, we will see the three core strategies that Jockey used to dominate the 61,000 crore innerwear market of India. Now, you probably know that Jockey is a 148-year-old American brand. However, what you might not know is that Jockey in India is actually not run by the American parent company, but an Indian company named Page Industries led by the billionaire Sundar Genomal. And it's very interesting how they got there. You see, although the Genomal family was Indian by descent, Sundar had never lived in India because his family lived in the Philippines since before he was born, where they were Jockey's exclusive manufacturer since 1959. Therefore, when Jockey was looking for a partner to expand into India in 1991, they approached Genomal because they already had a solid 30-year-old relationship. And in 1995, Sundar Genomal established Page Industries in India, which uses the Jockey brand name and takes care of everything: product design, manufacturing, supply chain, distribution, marketing and retail. And Page pays Jockey International a 5% royalty commission on annual sales. So now that you know the background of Page Industries, let's look at the first strategy behind its success, which is building an aspirational brand. See, buying underwear before the 1990s was very different from buying underwear today because it was considered a very private matter, close to being a taboo. So you would go to a shopkeeper and ask for an underwear. He would hand you any random product in poor plastic wrap and you simply had to trust his judgment. Therefore, all the existing brands like VIP, Rupa and Lux had given into this taboo. So there was no advertisement. Even displaying products alongside other apparel was unthinkable, let alone the large display ads that we see today. And this had reduced underwear to a strictly functional commodity, something you bought purely for necessity without any concern for style, brand, comfort or even appearance. So the Indian consumer back then only cared about the cheapest option that would do the job. And back then it was a push product, something that needed to be sold aggressively by shopkeepers. But Jockey set out to turn it into a pull product, something customers actively seek for its style and appeal. And they achieved it by creating an aspirational brand, which people buy not just for its utility, but because it makes them feel special, like part of an exclusive, successful group. And to achieve this, they focused on three things: branding, pricing, and positioning. You see, Jockey launched in India shortly after the liberalization reforms of 1991, which had just introduced Indians to premium international brands. So anything Western or international was considered premium, and therefore owning Western brands brought social validation and appreciation. And Page Industries played on this sentiment of the Indian public, branding Jockey as a symbol that people perceived as premium and foreign. So all the ads and posters of Jockey showed white foreign models with Western aesthetics. There wasn't a single Indian celebrity that they hired, and the advertising focused on comfort and lifestyle rather than sexualized imagery. But just using foreign models was not enough to establish a premium image, and the premium messaging had to be reflected in the pricing as well, because no one would buy a car worth 10 lakh rupees from BMW. A high price tag is part of what makes any brand premium. But here Page played an absolute masterstroke because they priced their products in the sub-premium to premium range, which means that while local brands were selling underwear for around 30 rupees, Jockey priced its products between 50 to 60 rupees. So Jockey became a brand that was aspirational but affordable. You could pay an extra 30 rupees for a year to get Jockey underwear instead of VIP, because 30 rupees per year is not a lot for aspiration and comfort. And in line with premium brands, it also implemented a strict no discount policy where retailers were monitored to ensure that products always sold at MRP except during sales. And with the right brand image and pricing, Jockey went all guns blazing when it came to positioning its products in stores. Unlike the traditional brands, it focused on in-store advertising, where it mandated that if a retailer wanted to sell its innerwear, he had to dedicate an entire branded section of his store just to Jockey. So it immediately stood out from the competition at any retail store. I mean, how many times have you gone to a store and seen a dedicated section of Rupa or VIP? Never, right? But you can spot the Jockey section clearly from a distance in any store. So Page ensured that Jockey got the bulk of the in-store promotional space. And in this way, Jockey adopted a premium yet accessible image which helped it to target the biggest segment of the growing Indian middle class, people who wanted quality and aspiration instead of price. Between 1996 and 2006, India's per capita GDP doubled from $396 to $792, and Jockey was one of the biggest beneficiaries of this boom because Page Industries became the fastest growing apparel company in India with a CAGR of almost 27%. Now, coming to the second strategy that they executed beautifully, which was mastering the manufacturing and supply chain. See, in the 1990s, the existing players like Rupa and Lux sold mediocre quality products at low prices. So they had just a handful of design and size options for years, which were mass produced by outsourcing to third-party manufacturers. However, Page Industries was obsessed with product quality right from the start, and the Genomal family already had 30 years of experience manufacturing for Jockey, which meant they had the latest technology and R&D as well. So instead of relying on an outside manufacturer, Page Industries built its own factories. That's why it could control every step of the production in the supply chain. So it saved money, had better quality, and no dependence on third-party manufacturers. And since it controls the production, it can adapt to market trends and roll out products much more quickly. So unlike the competitors that sold the same design for years, Jockey changes its entire collection every 3 months, even if it is just slight color modifications. So they never go out of trend, and customers always have something new to choose from. But having this backward integration also allows Page Industries to work on a negative working capital, where the retailer pays Jockey within 30 days of the delivery of goods, but Jockey pays its suppliers in 90 days. So its own capital investment in the manufacturing process is virtually zero. However, where Page Industries has really nailed the production has been managing its labor and workforce. See, back in the early 2000s when Jockey was still a small player, Tantex and Associated Apparels were two companies which were the champions of underwear in India with revenues of about 100 crores. However, in the 2000s, both of them became victims of labor strikes, eventually leading to significant troubles for both companies and a loss of market leadership. Therefore, Page Industries learned from them and never repeated their mistake, and it now invests a lot of money in keeping its workforce happy. So there are designated welfare officers who ensure labor happiness and sanitation. On top of that, everyone gets free food and free transportation along with free access to facilities like doctors and crutches. So the labor literally gets everything a person could ask for, leaving zero scope for unhappiness and strikes. 88% of its labor workforce is made up of only women, and new joiners go through a 30-day training before they are deployed in the factories. Now, because Page Industries was so good at production, it was also able to expand from a pure play innerwear brand into a full-fledged apparel brand that makes athleisure and kids clothing as well, which unlocked the market of a much larger variety of products. In 2010, innerwear accounted for 80% of Jockey's total revenue, where the average selling price was 175 rupees. But by 2020, it accounted for just 66%, while apparel brought in the remaining 34%, where the average selling price is almost 6 times higher at 1000 rupees. Now, the third strategy that Page Industries successfully executed was building an amazing distribution model. See, when Page Industries started selling Jockey in India, the existing distribution system, or how companies take their products to retailers, was very complex. So the way that existing players like Rupa or VIP worked was that they partnered with wholesalers who worked with multiple brands at the same time, and then the wholesalers went and sold to the retailers. However, this model was flawed because brands had no control over how their products were shown in the store. Once they handed over the stock to the wholesaler, their control was gone. So whether it was Rupa or VIP or Jockey, all of them would be displayed in the same way at any retail store. And this was a problem for Jockey, which wanted its product to stand out from the other brands in the store. So Jockey adopted an innovative approach and divided its distribution into 3 sales channels. One was small retail and family-owned hosiery stores, which targeted middle-income customers. And the second and third were multi-brand outlets and large format stores like Shoppers Shop and exclusive Jockey brand stores, which targeted high-income customers. stores. Now, for the traditional retail stores, Jockey did not go with the existing network of wholesalers. Instead, it chose to work with exclusive brand distributors who would sell only Jockey products to retailers. Even though it was an apparel brand, it built a large network of exclusive distributors like an FMCG company to expand its reach across India. And then, through these exclusive distributors, Jockey ensured that it got a dedicated space at retail stores and stood out from the competition with mandatory product ad displays at the retail stores. So it was able to bring the innerwear category out of the closet. Now, initially, Jockey had to work hard to convince retail shop owners to sell its products. But eventually, retailers fell in love with Jockey because not only did Jockey's premium products were easier to sell due to its brand pull, but it also made them more money. For example, even if Rupa offered retailers a higher profit margin of 25% against Jockey's 20%, retailers still made more money selling Jockey products because it had a higher price tag. So the net profit on selling one Jockey underwear was higher than selling one VIP underwear. Now, for targeting the high income groups, they established a presence in multi-brand outlets like Shoppers Shops and large exclusive Jockey stores. And this was a crazy idea because even today, Jockey is the only undergarment company to have such large dedicated stores. But these exclusive outlets worked really well for Jockey to boost their brand visibility and appeal. And as of today, Jockey has almost 1400 exclusive outlets. It's present in over 1100 large format stores like Shoppers Shop, and it is present in over 1 lakh retail shops. Even today, 80% of their revenue comes from these traditional retail shops. That was the significance of Page Industries cracking this distribution model in India. And these were the 3 major strategies that turned Page Industries into the 50,000 crore giant that it is today. If you want to launch your own D2C store, check out the link to my e-com masterclass in the description below. Like and subscribe here and follow me on LinkedIn and Instagram using the links in the description. Until I see you in the next video, goodbye.